Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester.
And I'm John Rush.
And we're glad to hear this Tuesday morning. We've got a great show lined up and a good week. We're going to talk more about the week coming up in a little bit later. But first, let's do a weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. And the first thing I looked at this morning, I told John, I said, goodness gracious, it's getting down to 37 degrees tonight.
Cold.
That's what they're calling for. And you're down here to enjoy this warm weather.
No, not yet, really.
We haven't had it. High today will be 59. The water temperature is hanging around 63 degrees. So I think this week we're going to see some action. I've been promising John now the last couple of weeks it'll be somewhere around now. So we're going to see what happens. River readings. Take a look at Apalachicola, Bluntstown. It is still up there in double digits, 12.3, but it is going to start falling. It's going to start falling Monday. This morning. It started falling yesterday, and it's going to start falling this morning and get on down maybe 10 foot by the middle of the week. Apalachicola, Bluntstown, the Choctahatchee, Careville, a lot of folks over there. That's sort of been a roller coaster. It is on the rise. Now, we got one river falling and one river rising, and the Careville this morning reading right at 9 foot. Is getting up to 10 foot by Wednesday and then dropping out for the weekend. Okay. John, what's our marine forecast?
Marine forecast? Oh,
okay.
I had it.
I love these electronics. We just pull it right up. This is great.
Let's see. Tuesday, you got a northwest wind around 20 knots, becoming 10 to 15. Late in the afternoon, seas 4 to 6 feet, and protected waters are going to be really choppy. And you're on small craft warning.
Small craft warning.
All day.
It is blown.
It's nasty.
It is blown.
It is gross out.
It really is. It's been rough. Take a look at our tide chart for today. We're looking at today is March the 26th, and we're looking at a pretty much of a neat tide. We have that full moon tomorrow night, and just not much tidal flow. So you're really going to have to go by the winds we're having to see what kind of. But it's just going to be choppy.
Got plenty of those winds, though.
We've got plenty of wind.
Plenty of wind.
Moving that water around. All right, let's take our first break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Sitting here with John Rush, a graduating senior soon to be.
Soon, yes.
You got it already written down on your calendar?
I have.
You got a circle?
Yep, I've got it circled.
Hey,
I actually just ordered my cap and gown the other day. Had to measure my forehead.
Hey, listen, what date is it?
May the 4th.
May 4th. All right, May 4th. So I know your parents are more excited than you are, probably.
Yes, they are very much.
Listen, we're getting, you folks out there have been so good at John and giving so many different opportunities to do outdoor things. I appreciate it so much. But this past weekend, Scott Lindsay took you out to the woods.
Yep.
So tell us about that.
We went and hollered at some turkeys for a little while. Unfortunately, we had a rainstorm come in. I mean, we got there, we sat down real early, and we were sitting in the woods and started calling them. And I mean, they were gobbling all around us. We had them in every single direction. We were just surrounded. I mean, it was unbelievable the amount of turkeys that were gobbling at us.
Yeah.
And so then we decided to move to what we thought was the closest ones. And I mean, we sat down in this beautiful tree orchard place, and sat down, got everything set up, and it started pouring down rain. And they stopped for quite a good bit, and then the rain stopped, and we actually went back to the truck, sat in the truck for a little while, and then started walking back down this trail. And I peek around this corner, and there's a couple of hens just right there on this trail, and we were like, "Whoop, we got busted." And we heard some gobblers about a little bit to our right, and those hens took right off towards them, and those were the ones that we were trying to call. And so we were pretty sure that they found them, and then they just done. Didn't hear a single thing the rest of the day.
That was a good experience, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I mean, I've been turkey hunting before, and that's a true sport. It's really neat, being able to call something to you whenever it's not normal. That's not what they're used to.
Yeah. And that rain, that Saturday was just a tough day. It was blowing and raining, but I do have some turkey pictures coming up. Before we get to that now, you were able to get out Of course, we had Sunday dinner. Got to come out of the house and eat Sunday dinner with us. But then Sunday night, you got to go back out on the pier.
I just kind of went to the pier and saw the conditions, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go home for a little while. But I mean, I don't know if whoever out there has seen the beach anytime lately. These past couple of days, it has been disgusting out in the Gulf. I mean, so many waves, and it is just rough as can be. But they were still catching pompano off of the pier, along with some flounder off of pompano jigs.
Yeah.
I've been out there just throwing a cigar minnow, trying to get something to bite, but other than that, there's been nothing.
Did you notice any particular color jig they were using, or just different?
No, I mean, I saw some really bright pinks. Yeah. A lot of bright pinks, with the tail and the head both being really bright, and then I think like a yellow or two. But yeah, it's a lot of pink. Yeah, from what I've seen.
Okay, we're going to show you some turkey, some gobbler pictures, and some folks actually got out up there in the woods, and actually, it didn't rain all over the place. It rained most of the time. Sometime during the day we all got wet. But here's a nice gobbler. It's a Taylor McGuffin. Let's see. I'm sorry. This is not Taylor. This is Drew. This is Drew Pollard right here. Nice gobbler. That's a long beard right there. Got him in cut there. And then check this young man out. Christian Schulte, son of Jamie and Holly Hill Schulte, got his first gobbler, and he was a proud young man. Christian's first gobbler Saturday morning. Good job there, Christian. I know his family well. Good folks there. Now this is Taylor McGuffin. He got a nice gobbler out in that rye patch there. Good job there. So Saturday morning we did get some nice gobblers. Okay. Here's a picture of Drew Benton. Drew's practicing for his FLW tournament. Drew's been on the show. He just won that big tournament, Lake Okeechobee, and he did a good job there. I want to show you these pictures here. This email. This is from Justin. What's that last name there? Can you read it to me? How do you pronounce it? Villanueva?
Oh, I have no idea.
Villarreal. Justin's a good fisherman now. He's fishing out of the West End. He said, "Hello, Winston. My name is Justin. I wanted to share with you what we've been catching at the west end of the beach this past week of surf fishing now. Monday, I caught this redfish at 27.5 inches, just over legal limits, so he released them. And then, check this out. Pompano caught Saturday night on a 15-inch pompano, nice pompano there. He said, love the show, always want to see myself on your viewer picture segment. So there you are. We got you, Justin. Appreciate you sending those pictures. Good job fishing, too, and a good report from the West End. Okay? Sort of jumping around here now. We're catching some fish.
We are. The fish are coming.
We're not catching a large segment at all, but we are catching some fish.
I got some reports back from over the weekend of the pompano being really thick in the pass around Shell Island, along with the flounder. So it's not just one or two. They're catching them in quite a good bit.
And the turkey hunters doing good despite of the weather we had Saturday. Y'all heard a lot of the turkeys, and then these guys went out and were successful. So, it's March. In spite of the bad weather, March has been a productive month, and April is going to be even better. All right, let's take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're here this Tuesday morning. Got a good week. I know the Bay County school system, they're off for spring break, but some counties have already had their spring break and are back in school now. So we're just glad to get a little bit of time off. I hope I can get some fishing done. Like I told you before, I'm getting out in the mental aspect from hunting into fishing. There's always a carryover there, but I'm just glad to have the opportunity. I'm glad I live here in Florida Panhandle. So one of the things I want to show you. One of the things, and we don't talk about it a lot on here, but I have friends that do this. It's called shed hunting, and what it is going out and finding the sheds of these antler sheds of these big bucks that that's rubbed and broken them off. And it's really a big hobby throughout the United States, and it could be to Texas or some of these big places out there. And we have folks doing it here locally, and I have a nice collection. And I have a Bubba Bittinger. Bubba's from Southport originally, won my class several years back. Bubba's out in Texas now, and Louisiana, works at different places out there. Good young man, and he sent some pictures of hunting some sheds. I want y'all to check this out now. This time he also found a rattlesnake out there, but he had a good day. This was a good morning of shed hunting this past weekend, and got him on the tailgate. But this time of year, well, you know, you don't get a whole, you just get one side. But shed hunting, here's one, he actually found both of these not too far apart. There's old Bubba Bittinger. A lot of you folks remember him. Dad used to be a preacher up there in Southport. Bubba's a good outdoorsman. That's a good picture there. Shed hunting, okay? So if you get a chance to go shed hunting, you can walk through. I'm gonna tell you one of the top places now. Some people are gonna get mad at me for telling you this, but I don't see anything wrong with it. If you really want to find it in a concentrated area, you're going to get out and look. Would be your state parks, and all these state parks around here have a deer population. I say all of them, but most of them do. And that's, you know, it's public property right there. You can go out and look around, and we got to look for some trees and all. And you want to go to the same areas when you go shed hunting. We found sheds accidentally before. We really haven't ever looked for them. Just in the springtime, just walking through the woods. When you're looking for them, you're going to try to look in the same areas that buck has been in during the wintertime. They have a bedding area, they have a feeding area, and they have, you know, some paths in between. They're going to stay around that same area, and they're going to find some trees that they've rubbed in the past. They finally going to break off, and that new growth is going to start coming on out. So shed hunting, it'll be a lot of fun if you get a chance to do it. It's a good family sport, and if you find some, take a picture and send them to us. We'd like to share it with everybody. Okay, now this past weekend, I got word there was a big old shark was off the pier, and finally I got 2 or 3 pictures from several different sources. Of course, 2 or 3 people said they all try to hook them with pompano jigs and all kinds of things like that. John had even first I heard about was from John, but I got this picture here. John's a little bit behind the camera now. John, how big was this mako?
We thought it was about 9 to 10 feet, about 400 pounds.
Oh, 9 to 10 feet. Now, it started off about 7 foot, then I got reported 8 foot, and now it's 9 to 10 foot, around 400.
I was there.
Okay, John was there. You heard him. John was there. He saw him. He was 9 to 10 foot mako. And was he in a hurry, John? Was
no,
he
was just chilling, just hanging out.
Just hanging out, okay? So, and that's the thing about these sharks. We've seen them before. Sometimes they'll come up to your boat, and they're not in a big hurry. It's not like on a TV show where they're going to zoom up there and then zoom out of the way. They just sort of meander up there, and they're just scoping out the situation. They find them something to eat. They're going to eat it. Hopefully it's not going to be your leg or part of the boat or something like that. But and they're going to hang around a while, and then if they get spooked now, it's amazing how fast they can take off. I told you about the ones we saw scalloping last year, that huge one. We sort of came up next to it, and we actually saw him before he saw us, and he was just sort of lollygagging around there. Once he saw us and realized we were something big and floating toward him, he just sprinted out there. It's amazing how fast they move. So anyway, I wanted to mention that. I also want to give a big congratulations to Gino Peoples. Gino Peoples, actually, Gino's been on the show before. Local artist. Remember, we've had his work on here before. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Well, Gino was selected. You may have seen in the paper this past weekend. His painting was selected to go on the duck stamp. It was really amazing. I mean, the amount of competition he has for that. So I believe it's going to be 2015 maybe. It'll be Gino Peoples' own art there. And we're so proud of Gino for doing that. So congratulations. We'll try to get that picture for you and show you. But that's our own local artist there getting some national work there. Now, let's jump back into the water on some thermals. We talked about thermals and all. This was about a week ago, really. And I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on it. I do want you to notice where it says 71 degrees, that really strong stream of warm water coming right in there. Okay, and I picked this up. This is recently now. This is the blue line right here. That's the water temperature, and the red line is the air temp. And it is this is as a Monday of this week, and you see in some areas, this is close by here. It's getting up to right this on Monday morning. It was 63 degrees, but then hopefully it's going to jump on up there Monday night. Now that's in the middle of the day too. Okay, and of course this is just looking at some different streams. This was another I picked up. There's several sources you can get information from, and this one is, you can see the different levels coming in. So I was impressed with all of those. Bottom line, and I've kept my own chart over the years and made a chart of everything, and it this time of year we started out with, I look back here about a couple weeks ago, we started out, here it was in March. It was actually March the 6th, folks, it was 63 degrees. Remember we talked about how warm it was, but it just stayed like, we went from 63 to 62. Well, today's up to 63 again, so we haven't had that bump, and that's what we're waiting on. And actually, going back, I've got a date here in February where we had some warm weather. It was 65 degrees, so it really we had that one little bump back in the end of February where we got to 65, 66, but it didn't stay up there, drop back down. But those currents and all we talk about. Okay, so be aware of that, and then we're, like I said, right around the corner from doing that. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back for our final segment of Panhandle Outdoors. We're glad you're here this morning. Let's get started with our fish and game forecast brought to us by Mark Cowart of Edgewater Beach Realty, number 832-6000. Give Mark a call for any kind of real estate needs between St. George Island and Destin, and he'll help you out and he'll treat you right. I can promise you that. Our time, we only have one time for the day. We're looking at 12:10 to 2:10. Excellent time there. That fish on the bottom should have swam on off the chart because we do not have but one time today. So 12:10 to 2:10. I was going to mention, you may have seen this the other day too. I got an email from FWC. Stan sent it to me, and it's about the rabies situation where this young outdoorsman, airman over here in Pensacola, 20 years old, loved to hunt and fish, and he passed away, but he'd gotten really sick, real healthy and all, and gotten sick, and he couldn't find out what had happened. He went into a coma. They started running a fever and went into a coma, and they thought it was some kind of, first thought it was food poisoning from eating some bad fish or some bad oysters over there in that area, but they couldn't really track it down. And while he was in a coma, he'd want to be a donor, so they actually were able to donate his kidneys, his liver, his heart and lungs to different parts. Went to different places in the United States, and they really didn't know what the cause of death was. It's some kind of food poisoning, thought, or gastroenterology. And so about 2 years later, recently, one of the donor recipients had contracted and all of a sudden got sick the same way, and he actually he was a recipient of the kidney. He actually passed away too, and they did an autopsy, did all kind of research. The Center for Disease Control really got into it, and to make a long story short, they actually found out that the first young man that sent all these that first passed away over in Pensacola, he had rabies. They had no idea, and no one tested him for rabies. Didn't know he had it, and they speculated. Actually, they almost proved without a fact that he contracted rabies, probably by cleaning some game, some deer and all, or some kind of game, maybe without gloves. So I'll tell you this story to be sure and wear gloves when you clean game. Now that used to never cross our mind. I mean, every weekend during hunting season, my brother and I. Somebody in our hunting party, we had a hunting party about 15 to 20, so every weekend we had deer. So, and my brother and I just, as young men, delighted in cleaning. I mean, we skinned them and we cut them open and did all the things. And just by the grace of God, none of us ever got sick. But it's so easy to nick yourself and all, and if they're carrying some kind of disease like rabies, you certainly can be susceptible to it. But now I don't clean that much game anymore. We let the younger guys do it. But I always tell everybody, and Walter's good about it. My son-in-law, he'll wear gloves and all. So always wear gloves when you're cleaning game and all, any kind of wild game. And that was a tragic situation. The other three people that received the organ transplants, they've been treated for rabies prevention. They're all doing fine. But certainly I want to pass that on as outdoorsmen. We need to be aware of that. Okay. Now, let's jump to a more pleasant subject. I had let's see, we talk about fishing the buoy line. I think I have it right here. This coming out of Mexico Beach. We talk about Spanish mackerel coming in this week, and one of the hot spots, of course, always around Mexico Beach is going out around those buoy lines, and you can go out of Mexico Beach, or you can go with Mitch Coleman or some of the captains down there. Mitch is really good about sending us reports, but that buoy line we'll talk about, it is coming off the Cape at the top right-hand corner. We're you can see. Let's see if I can get my All right, okay, we're off the tip of the Cape now. Over to the right, if you can go back to there where it says buoy marker, off the tip of the Cape, there's a buoy line. Yeah, all throughout there, there's a whole buoy line coming out there. And see how that channel is a channel right there. And that's the buoy markers. And you'll see folks out there behind it and all. And they'll be trolling the area. And those buoys are really nice fishing. But those Spanish now, they'll hang around there, and you can really catch some nice Spanish. Now, if you don't want to fool with taking your boat and all down there, and you just want to go catch some Spanish, like I say, the limit's about 15, so 3 or 4 of y'all go, you can catch 50 or 60 Spanish legally and have a great time. And Mitch Copeland put together a little fishing package here. I think this is a great idea. A 3-hour Spanish mackerel trolling trip, and for $275 up to 4 people. And it go right there out of Mexico Beach. His number is 896 4930. 896-4930. So give Mitch a call. Mitch is, like I said, just reaching. He's really good about helping us out on the fishing report from that area. A lot of y'all are good about sending information in and sharing with us. Like we just got this email here from the west end of the beach from Justin Villarreal, telling us what's happening surf fishing on the west end. So all this good stuff, we just pass it on, and we can all benefit from it and enjoy it. Spanish, now, the first Spanish coming in, we keep talking about it because that's the first fish coming in, and we have officially had the 3rd fog. So I told John at Sunday lunch, I said Sunday dinner, we're going to have our Spanish coming in this week, sometime this week. I'll be catching some Spanish. The first ones, though, are small, but you can always tell the Spanish by looking at there's several ways on the lateral line, or you can look at the fin right here. Okay, see the dark right there. Later on, he's going to be a large Spanish and be some small kings, and you're going to have trouble telling them apart. But anyway, just make sure you just go out there and catch them. We're going to have to start wrapping things up. We've run out of time again. We have all kinds of stuff coming up this week, and we'll tell you about it tomorrow, though. All right, folks, be sure, and sometime during the course of the day, you should do something good for your fellow man. And you have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.